Okay, Commissioner Aaron, since you're taking the minutes again this month, if you would mind doing the roll call
Okay. Christopher Brandt, chairperson.
here.
Mark Johns, vice chair.
Here.
Greg Walther.
Here.
Ann Himes.
Here.
Sarah Corona.
Here.
Ryan Pearson.
Here.
Jennifer Aaron's here. Tim Judd, town historian, town liaison.
Thank you. Okay, we've got two sets of meeting minutes to review for the June and July meetings. Open up to my fellow board members for any adjustments or amendments. Let's start with the June minutes. If anyone wants to chime in with any adjustments or if we're ready to approve as is submitted. I double checked. I didn't see anything jump out to me. If any others have any corrections.
The town sexual harassment training I have to do. Were you going to remind people?
I can.
Do it so I can.
Okay. Any other last takers? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes as submitted for the June 24th, 2025 meeting? Anyone want to make that motion?
Motion approved.
I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right, July minutes for the July 29th, 2025 meeting of the commission. One minor correction under item 3 of old business. Technically, the staff person at SHPO, their first name is Francis, Frances.
Oh, Francis, yeah.
And another SHPO name correction under item 5, Townwide Historic Resource Survey. Down about a third of the way there with the SHPO visit to Irondequoit, the staff person is Sarah Evenson. Oh, or hold on. I think maybe I did. Let me just double check.
Oh, you should look. I wrote names of streets. Oh, Evenson, yeah.
You got it right. Yeah, so I must have spelled it in the meeting.
You did.
Never mind. It did.
In Campbell, I just have a first name.
I can get you that.
Yeah.
Was anyone from KTA with you on that tour?
Yes, I think.
I put out one.
It's Athen, Athan, instead of O-N.
Ethan. A-N, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Nathan.
Yes. And then Campbell, you have the first name spelled right. Their last name is Higle, Higle. That's it for any corrections from me. If anyone else has others.
I'm going to take off my name from White City because Mark did that. Thank you, Mark.
There's another Ethan with an O. Did you?
Where's that?
It's Ann. It's
Oh, I see
under
that.
deliverable dates.
And Annie. There's an I between the N and the E. One last correction, nitpicky. At the end, under good and welfare, I think it should read Chris Read Memorial Statement instead of Chris to read Memorial Statement. All right, last call.
Can I make a motion to approve the minutes as
Alright.
noted?
So Mark makes a motion to approve as noted and get a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all. Okay, we do not have anyone here tonight for public input. We have not received any applications for certificates of appropriateness for this meeting. Although I will note that we will likely have at least one certificate of appropriateness before the commission at next month's meeting. For correspondence, we received couple of emails from state staff persons. So Francis Stern, the staff person for CLG funding. I was corresponding with her earlier this week. We provided updates for our annual reports to her to maintain us in good CLG standing. Our next report will be due here, I think in October or November of this year, but we are now current with that.
What was that last year's?
Yeah, we hadn't submitted last year, so she sort of checked in, and I sent it off to her. But she confirmed and thanked us for the updated reports, was excited about the progress the commission's made in the last couple of years, and confirmed that we remain in good standing with the state for our CLG status.
Do we need to submit meeting minutes with that?
No,
Just
yeah,
Major highlights?
correct. Yeah, it's a 3-page standardized form. They
Okay.
finally made it PDF fillable for this year.
Oh,
It used to
okay.
be a Word document that you had to edit. But it's, pretty simple. The only things that need to be submitted outside of the form are resumes for any new commission members during that year. And then if there's any updates to your code, you have to submit that, but they've already kind of received it anyways. And technically we wouldn't send it until we do this year's report because the
Because-
rewrite of the code fell within this year, not the previous year.
And Ryan's. resume.
Correct. And Ryan's resume has not officially been submitted to the state CLG because Ryan falls within this year's reporting period. The other piece of correspondence from the state was from Sarah Evenson, and this was confirmation that the State Historic Preservation Office will be able to successfully complete their review of our townwide historic resource survey in compliance with our deadline of September 30th of this year.
Because it didn't get to them August 1st.
Correct.
So Chris,
Yeah, so I guess,
sure.
yeah, we'll expound a bit on that more here in the old business.
By the September 31st deadline, I'm sorry.
It's, the September 30th deadline.
Okay.
Trying to think. Oh, sorry. No, we have a third piece of correspondence. This was sent to the historian. The historian forwarded it to me. The same member of the public who brought up concern or interest in the boardwalk in White City took some photographs and sent them along to the historian regarding some historic fencing that was part of this walkway that's still sort of present as like an ad hoc property fence. But it's like, it looks to be maybe cast iron of some sort. And I can forward those photographs to everyone if they're interested in seeing them. But that same individual from the public maintains some active communication with the historian, and the historian's been sharing that communication with me.
West of Washington Ave.
I
Or no, east of it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
hold on a
Is it
second.
east of Washington Ave?
Let's see.
It must. The trail.
Harrison Terrace.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, there you go. There's the.
yeah, that's definitely, I think it's.
Too bad I didn't know about that before. I could have included that in the photos
Right.
for the
Yeah.
district.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we got this email like just late last week.
So you're saying he submitted historic photos?
No, a current photo of the existing historic fence that had, it had been he and this resident indicated that from their understanding of the history for White City, this fencing had been used along that sort of semi-public path, and now it's been repurposed in a couple different locations in the neighborhood. And he sent a photograph of two large sections of that fence that are present at the end of Harrison Terrace.
Repurposed by the town or by individual homeowners?
They didn't indicate, and I couldn't quite tell from the photo. If I had to guess, private property.
So is Tim gonna look and see if he can find historic photos of that?
I think he might be digging into it, because he'd been digging into some other items. Okay, I think that's it for correspondence. I don't have anything beyond that for the liaison report from Tim. On old business for the 2026 budget, I unfortunately didn't submit until today, but submitted our draft budget that we reviewed in last month's meeting, or let's just say our draft budget request to the town comptroller and Bill Lang at the building department. So stay tuned for meetings on that.
It wasn't too late.
No, that Diana Marsh, the comptroller, indicated at the town board meeting earlier this month that she was wanting to see draft submissions within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we're still kind of safely within that.
And to Bill,
Bill Lang, Lang.
building department.
Yep. And the town comptroller, that's Diana Marsh, Diana, Marsh, Marsh. Quick update on landmark property plaques. Unless I hear differently from one of the people who's receiving it, I think we are on for September.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there probably for both.
Okay.
For the family.
So we're on for
It's
September.
Both houses are the same family, so if you are with me just representing the family for both of those houses, even though they're separate properties.
And then that puts us on October potentially for the next two properties. So as a reminder related to that, I think Mark may have volunteered for drafting a letter to notify homeowners.
No, I was supposed to have it by August 20th, but I knew Greg was up next, so we didn't need it for him.
September meeting?
September town board.
Those are the two.
4185 and 4365, yeah.
Yeah, September what, I'm sorry.
So it'll be at the September 16th
Please don't tell me that. Yeah.
town board meeting.
I gotta be out of town.
So your sister has to come then.
I'm gonna be in Raleigh.
So, we don't.
Erica can't make it.
I found this out about a week ago, but
Okay.
yeah.
I guess we'll put a pin in that and we'll work on the letter.
Yeah, how about we, yeah.
I knew you were gonna tell me the 16th. Yeah, I'm going the 16th and 17th.
Okay. Revised code. Our final revised code was submitted to the town board back in late June. A public hearing was announced in the July town board meeting. that public hearing was undertaken at this month's town board meeting on August 19th. And our rewrite of Chapter 236 of the Arundecoit Town Code was unanimously approved by the town board as submitted by the Preservation Commission.
Wow, that's great.
I would encourage all commission members to watch the tape. The members of town board and the town supervisor had a lot of congratulatory and kind words thanking us for our hard work. So I want to do what I can to tell you, but if you want to see it in their own words, I'd encourage you to watch the video feed of that hearing. So, but thank you all so much for that, and for many of you who've worked on that for years. It's a fantastic finish line to get over as a commission. Any comments on that before I keep
Great.
plowing
No,
along?
that's
Yeah,
great. We got a lot of stuff done this year.
yeah,
We'll
it's
have
been a good year.
Report to SHPO.
Yes. Got a reminder in here, the Wimbledon Road National Register Historic District signage. I don't know if any progress or correspondence has happened with that.
No,
Okay.
I'm a slacker. No. I'll take that up again after, now that the report's done. The
Yeah.
resource report's done.
Okay. And so last, it's always in there. It's always turning.
About it.
Last item of old business, townwide historic resource survey. As alluded to by Commissioner Johns earlier this meeting. So the consultant, due to some of the feedback from the in-person meeting with SHPO here in town and the added work that created, they did not meet their August 8th deadline. They've indicated that the final report is going to be submitted tomorrow. And I have communicated with both the consultant as well as staff at SHPO regarding our time crunch on the CLG grant, and both have confirmed and assured that all work will be completed in compliance with our deadline. And our deadline is also our next monthly meeting. And then after we meet the deadline, we have another month or month and a half to finish final billing and finish like the paperwork for the grant. But the work of the survey has to be complete by the 30th.
Like, no more edits or anything.
Correct.
That's done.
Drop dead,
So
100%
after
complete.
September the 9th meeting, if there's any input, they'll incorporate that.
Potentially, yeah. Although the final presentation on September 9th, so next sub item there. So that's mainly a public-facing presentation that will summarize and share the findings of the resource survey with the public. I made the announcement about it at the town board meeting earlier this month. So it'll be in this room on Tuesday, September 9th at 7 p.m. Wanted to see if anyone was willing to potentially create some promotional material for that, like in the next 48 hours that we can give the town for social media. If not, I'm happy to do it on one of my evenings.
Like, can't we just give them a sentence?
I'm thinking like just because they usually post like an image of some sort to their, or like a paper with the announcement, just some sort of simple graphic that they can put on their social media.
Can't use our cover? The report cover?
Could use the report cover.
Is the reconnaissance spelled correctly?
We could, yeah.
In a pinch. If that's
Yeah, that's easy enough. But if someone wants to take that on, otherwise I'm happy to just get something together quickly because I want to provide it for the town so they can get it on their social media channels to encourage members of the public to come here in 2 weeks in this room.
Do we have something that we created for the first one
Yes,
that, could we just swap out?
we could just also just do that. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
what was the first one?
The first public meeting here for the kickoff, essentially. So this is the second public meeting. So we did have a posting for that. So we can maybe just reuse that and change the dates.
That, I'm willing to,
Might have been me. I don't remember.
okay,
Yeah.
send it to me and,
Okay.
Is it worth putting together some kind of physical flyer that we could post at the library, or just
It would, yeah, that would probably be really good at it. Because the
Well-
library has their sort of like calendar or the public postings board there. So I think probably the same, what we produce for the town, if it's 8.5 by 11 format, we could probably also just print it and post it in the library as well.
Well, we talked about this at the last meeting, like, so no, nothing happened
Yes.
as
For-
far as advertising it?
Not yet, no.
I can make copies.
No.
Yeah, I can make copies.
Because there's that, they have a newsletter that goes out every Monday morning,
You were saying that.
an
yeah.
email that would be a great way to get the word out.
What about the
More.
historical society too? They
Hmm.
They probably can do
they
blasts too.
Yeah.
so that would be Tim who has contact. So he could.
Yeah, and I have Ellen Flesh's email, who's the
Okay,
president.
so you can send him the public announcement,
Yeah,
and they can post it to library email. Anyone have a contact?
I would just go right to the desk and say, if you want to give that to me, I'll go. But it would need to be, I don't know how far in advance they need something, but we don't have much time now.
no, it's
the
2
ninth.
weeks, yeah.
So we need to get it in Mondays, the next 2 Mondays,
Monday is a holiday.
Labor Day.
Right.
Well, I think they still send it out, but
Okay. So it sounds like maybe Mark and Jennifer will
Yeah.
coordinate. I will contact Aronicoid Historical Society.
so you're gonna do it on the town website or Jennifer's?
Well, I'll contact, well,
He's gonna give me the thing. I'm gonna come up with it, give it to you, and you'll get it to.
yeah, I'll send a digital file to the Historical Society in the town.
The town and to Historical Society,
Yep.
and I'll give it to library.
Yep.
Can you make color copies?
I don't, well, when are you're gonna send that to me, like, within a day or two? I
Yeah,
don't think I'm gonna be in the office to be able to
Okay.
do it.
Then
I thought I could just give it to them digitally because they
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
Perfect.
They put it in.
Let them figure it out.
Give them a digital copy, they should just, yeah.
Okay.
Don't ask.
They are a library.
You don't ask them, just tell them like, hey, I'm expecting you to print this out for us. Don't ever ask, just tell.
And they're gonna have
The
a
older I get, the more I
presentation,
do
like
that. I
we
don't
talked
ask, I
about
just tell
before.
people
Is there a,
If they wanna say no.
are they gonna
they're
be able to
no.
do a PowerPoint that's gonna
Yeah,
be
so-
visible? And
Yeah, so I talked to the town IT department. The sound should be better because everyone will be in the room, but unfortunately for the video feed of the slides, they will have to resort to the same method that we did before, where it's the large TV screen and then they aim the camera at the screen. But the video wasn't that bad for the previous one. It was more the audio problems of like having to deal with the Zoom call piped through a microphone in the room. So Athen and Annie will be here in person, so we shouldn't have the audio problem, and the video should be just as fine as it was before.
and that's what they must do for all the others, 'cause
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. So they didn't have the ability to get like a computer hooked up to the video stream for a visual display. That they've got to do the camera sort of pointed at some sort of physical media in the room.
when we were here for that last town board meeting, there was that presentation on some neighbor.
Right. Yeah.
neighbors thing, and
Yeah. And they use the same thing. Yeah. Any last thoughts there on the public meeting? Last one I had on here was to just sort of plant a flag for thoughts starting now and leading into next year. So the CLG grant deadline will likely still be May 1st of next year. With completing our CLG funded project here by the end of next month, we will then be eligible to apply for CLG grant funding again. So to start thinking about what we might want to pursue with that grant funding for particular projects. So a few that could be potentials that I'll sort of throw out is with our historic resource survey, we could potentially pursue grant funding for a larger historic district on the National Register. because we'll certainly have several to choose from the survey. Another option could be if we want to sort of bolster more of our sort of procedural end of things, we could do something like design guidelines, which several commissions like City of Rochester, Village of Pittsford all have, that get more into the nitty gritty of sort of assisting us as commission members with reviews of certificates of appropriateness on landmark designated properties. It goes far more into detail than what we could ever put in a ordinance, and helps us sort of wrangle, especially with more challenging items that are maybe in more of like a gray area that's hard to really interpret how our ordinance would go about that. And that's where design guidelines can be helpful both for us, but also then informing the public and any applicants the more specific lenses through which we're going to be looking at their project, of if we're looking at additions or we're looking at changes to the historic property or the surrounding landscape on a building, or we now have the ability to do our scenic landmarks. Of are there specific ways that we want to establish sort of review protocols for that? So that could be another option for CLG funding. It could also just fund training if we wanted to bring someone in to train the board here in person instead of traveling to the preservation conference. There's probably some other items that we could look at, but a lot of it's going to be more of that sort of professional services and soft costs. We can't necessarily pursue any sort of like capital projects, but there are options to think about, and I'm happy to just sort of field ideas, and then we can start to hone in on what we would like to pursue.
How much, like, what's the cap? How much can we get?
Well, I tend to think we probably couldn't get much more than what we got the first time.
Couldn't get much more.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
Because if we did think about a district, there's no way it's going to pay for most of them.
Right.
So, I mean, if we did the smaller ones, it would be nice.
Mhm.
We have the momentum going. SHPO's, they're all engaged. We're very, very, very familiar with it. It would be nice to just keep that going.
Mhm.
If it made sense to do a
Speaking of
smaller one.
ones,
Like
Mark, you and I met
Port
with
City or
Seabreeze.
something, or Seabreeze.
Are we gonna get the Jackrabbit on it? We have to get that on the National Registry. Like, and then the guy, I talked to him, he said he's fine with it. He says, long as it isn't law abiding, I'll do it. The National Registry's not, nobody's gonna be making him do anything with it. It's just ornamental, but that's one we
like
need to
the
do.
smallest one.
Huh?
That's the smallest district, right?
Right.
Make sure to hit your mics.
So maybe that might be a good
If you
one.
were, yeah, you just made me think of, like, if we're going small National Registry stuff, like that's a no-brainer. And they're okay with doing it, and
It'd be good. Then they get all this good information.
It's a
out.
good
And it's
public-
also very public, and no individual resident has to worry about their house being put on it, but it's like a public thing. So
and it's a feel-good thing, like
it's a feel-good thing. Look
Right.
at what our town did.
Yeah.
It was just on the news today about.
It was a birthday of it, I think, right?
No, something about some funding. I thought because one of his.
Oh, isn't he having issues with the expansion of the water park because of tariffs on like the slide manufacturer? That's what I remember reading about like a week ago.
No, it was a more positive.
Oh,
thing
okay.
that I saw. It was more of a PR
Well,
thing.
they are expanding it. Remember, Mark, you
Mhm.
never went to where
Maybe that's what they were talking about. They were
they
expanding
were
that.
bulldozing the whole area, and we were like, "What are you guys doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, we're going to be building some extra housing or
Another
something."
I thought there was another water slide or something.
And more water, but there were going to be some housing and for personnel and people that could.
I thought they were knocking that down.
Weren't they going to
Where they
rebuild
were.
some of it too?
Were they? I don't remember that. But I think it was a new. They're talking about new slides,
Mhm.
water slide thing there. Yeah, because there was just in the news that one of them broke. And I think on the cruise ship, it was a big hole in it. I'm thinking, all right, that's it. I'm never going to go on one of those, and I'll never let my kids go on it.
Well, there's other reason why I would never run one of those things, but
It was
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Any
So
other?
That might
yeah.
be a good.
that's a no-brainer because I know they'll do it. But we would use funding to get that done, right? We would hire somebody that
Right.
paperwork, and I know it's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, I think we could, depending on how
About 10
what district we pursue, and if we're concerned about achievability of grant funding, it could be something where we could seek proposals and add in the structure of like, hey, the commission has this past experience of assisting the consultant in field work. We could provide volunteer field work to diminish the consultant's fee to make it more achievable. So I could see doing that, and one of my thoughts, at least for consideration, is this would be pending direction from the town if we can do this, but ideally it might be nicer to get responses to the RFP and time it so we get the responses, see the cost, submit the grant application, instead of like taking our best guess and hoping someone will take the grant amount as a fixed sum for the RFP.
So potentially RFP at first.
Yeah, I think maybe doing our RFP, it must probably be in like March, and then try to have the responses to the RFP back, not too much before the deadline, maybe like a week or two before the May 1st deadline, so then we know exactly what the dollar amount is, finish the paperwork, submit, and we just gotta figure some way where the RFP might stipulate that the respondent has to hold their number for enough time for us to get a response from SHPO and approval of the grant contract. So might have to be something where they have to hold their number for 3 months upon submission. But that's at least, that was a thought that I had in my mind more of on a procedural end, because it did work out for the townwide historic resource survey, but it feels a little risky to continue that, to like take your best guess and then hope it
Yeah,
works out as a fixed fee.
and they didn't ask for additional fee.
They did not, much to KTA's credit.
Well, we told them that there was.
Right,
on
yeah,
it.
we told them, there isn't.
Said, this is it.
Yeah.
This is what you can for this amount.
They could have asked.
Potentially.
So good.
Anyone else have thoughts? So, we'll just keep it on the agenda and can discuss. Everyone's welcome to just sort of mull it over, think about it more. But just wanted to plant a flag so we can keep moving forward and be ready for it come early next year. All right, last, good and welfare. I don't have anything, but open to the floor to fellow commission members. Anyone has anything?
Reminder for your
Oh.
2025 sexual harassment training, you have to do the town. It needs to be in by December 31st. Who hasn't done it?
I never finished it.
You guys already did this?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah,
I
daily. It
know,
was
but then they-
incessant.
Then they stopped. And then I forgot. I started it and never finished it. So have you been getting emails, Jennifer?
Just grab me in the chair and start drilling.
Were you getting emails?
Yes.
She's just real good at
Are you still
ignoring
getting
emails.
Still getting emails.
Oh,
I'm not
Oh, they
either.
gave up?
They gave
You just
up.
wait long enough?
Yeah, they
You played the
stopped,
game of just wait long enough, they just give up.
'cause I haven't been getting them either. I wondered if it was even still open if I went and got my old emails and
I'll let you know.
I'd be curious to know if that link still works too.
all right, last call.
Do we want to put something on the record with the letter we sent to the county about the trees and stuff? Like, we want to put it on here that we,
Oh,
I know we haven't,
yeah, I wouldn't call it a letter. That's true for correspondence. So
yeah.
thank you for that. So I guess we really should have this under the correspondence on good and welfare. So thank you, Greg, for the reminder. As I think most of the commission's already aware, and certainly people that were at the town board meeting earlier this month, there is widespread concern in the community, especially residents of the Nowadaga neighborhood along Thomas Avenue, regarding a upcoming road reconstruction project along Thomas Avenue that I think is for the majority of the length of the road. But the primary area of concern for the residents is, among many other things that are occurring with the roadway, in order to allow for a enlarged shoulder and some of the other street improvements, they are scheduling, at least in the plans for the project as they stand currently, to remove some 24 large street trees, primarily along, I guess depending on how you orient on the map, it's the south or west side of the street.
The way the compass goes, it's south.
Yeah, it's mostly south. Yeah, and the trees, the majority of trees that are scheduled for removal are essentially south of the bend in Thomas.
Are they gonna touch St. Paul too with this project?
No, so yeah, this is only for Thomas Avenue.
It's only Tom's, I think it's 9 trees. I counted it.
I counted
It's 20.
somewhere.
It's like 20.
The big,
Oh, so they're gonna go all the,
the
even, there-
huge ones, there's about 9
well, there's
of
9
them.
Yeah.
that are right where Seneca School
Right at the
is.
school.
But then you go a long stretch and there's nothing really.
Yeah,
and
there's
then
more.
You get towards Van Boris, and then there's a couple more, so now, okay, now.
Yeah,
they're-
it's over 20. And then yeah, they're a smaller portion of that, though I'd say probably over half are significantly large trees. Most of them oak trees that are similar to the ones that are along St. Paul Boulevard.
Correct, and they're all like the same vintage, they're all well over 100 years old, these
Right.
trees, like enormous oak trees, so it would be devastating if they got rid of them.
Yeah, and then we
Oh, by the way, so before I forget, Dr. Marion, who's a tree pathologist, he said he has plenty of studies, supporting evidence to show you how this is detrimental to an area and especially safety. He said it adds more light, glare to an intersection. He said that there's actually more accidents when you get rid of trees in intersections. So he
that's
has all
good.
this data
That's good.
supporting that, how it's for
Yeah.
safety reasons why we shouldn't get rid of those trees.
Is he gonna send it to you?
He said when you need it, I'll
Yes,
send it
I
to
would
you.
like to send it to the engineers too.
I'll ask him, I'll text him tonight, tell him
Who
to
is
send me
it?
what he's
I'm
got.
sorry.
It's Dr. Daniel Marion. He's a renowned tree pathologist, or I don't know what you call it. He's a doctorate in trees. I don't know what the official doctorate in
doctor, yeah.
arbory, or I don't know, but he's a tree pathologist.
PhD or something?
So anyways, he's very renowned. He goes all over New York State. And
Well, that would be.
so
very
anyways,
good
he would send some stuff. I don't know. We don't really have the legal authority, but we
Right.
can still have some influence. So
Yeah, but as
I'll
a
send that to whoever wants to.
commission, we can send. Like I thought, weren't you talking about?
right.
sending a letter?
Well, yes.
Send a
So
letter. We can information share with some of these papers or dissertations or whatever you want to call them that are supporting how trees are actually are protect and are safer for neighborhoods than.
That's what they need to hear.
Yeah.
They don't care about the air quality and all that other stuff. And
Well, he has other stuff that tells you about. He dismisses some of the arguments that it actually destroys. A lot of people say that the roots get into the storm drains and all that, and he has a lot of evidence that shows that that's bunk. So he has stuff that actually says that helps storm drains because it absorbs the roots absorb a lot of the water runoff and everything. So he has evidence to show that counteract some of those arguments that say that the roots are going to damage the storm drains and everything. Because that's what the county's probably going to say. Oh, we got to get rid of the trees because the storm drains are all going to get ruined by them.
traffic safety and kidding the.
And yeah, he said that's the first thing they say, and he goes, I have a lot of stuff to counteract those arguments. So
So you're saying the IHPC wants to put
So,
together a letter?
well, yeah, so
Already has.
we already
no, so I was just trying to lay the groundwork
Okay.
as far as like, what's occurred. So there's a couple of residents in the Nowadaga neighborhood started a public petition opposing the removal of the trees as part of this project. Those leaders of that petition were present at the town board hearing earlier this month.
Present against it. Was there a good showing?
At the town, it was just, the two speakers with their spouses, so 4.
It wasn't like a lot of people.
No, yeah, so they appeared and talked to the board about their concerns, and they have been communicating with people involved with the project at the county level. So they reached out to the town historian, and then sort of subsequently myself asking for advice or questions about sort of next steps, and I encouraged them to come before the town board, where they appeared this month. And then I reached out to both the project manager at the county for this project, and then our county legislative representative, David Long, to express concerns that I had, at least as the chair, but not speaking for the commission, just in my personal position, regarding the potential adverse impacts that the removals of these trees would have on the neighborhood at large, and noting that that portion of our town has been identified as a potential historic district in our survey that's just being completed, and that the trees are arguably a significant contributing feature to that historic district's.
So I also sent it to
Yeah.
to John Perticone, the town board member. I forwarded your letter to him. Now, it's not out of their jurisdiction, but it also could have impact on property value and other things that the town will indirectly be concerned about. So, yeah, the town board all is aware that he shared with the town board too. So they're all on board with what's going on
Yeah.
with this too.
And I noted
So,
in the when I went up to speak primarily for the code at the town board meeting, and specifically highlighting key changes or additions that we made to our code beyond the New York Standard Code, with our addition of the concept of scenic landmarks. And I clarified that one of the motivating factors behind that was situations exactly like this, like on Thomas Avenue. And then I mentioned that previously, I think several commission members were here, but I'm going to say this was like 3 years ago, when the church on Culver Road came before us with their bicentennial tree, and they were concerned about potential protections for that, or how to sort of catalyze potential funding to maintain its health. And that a lot of town board members were sort of intrigued by that and understood our sort of reasoning of including that as a potential enforcement action that this commission could undertake. So, yeah, I think outside of voicing our concerns of the commission, if we want to actually provide a written letter of concern from the commission, we certainly could. But beyond that, I don't think we're in any position to seek formal protections on these trees at this point in the project. But it's food for thought, thinking about very similar trees that are on St. Paul Boulevard right now and are not currently within a active project at the moment, but could be in the future.
Well, 2 were already taken down.
Right.
And the county said that.
Yeah,
they
I
were
called you, Mark, about
bad
that. Yeah.
shape, and then after they were cut down, I went and looked at the trunks, and there was the trunk was probably 4 feet at least in diameter, and there was just a hollow area of a foot in diameter in it. So there was no way that tree was coming down soon. I was going to talk to our arborist, and the town needs to push back.
Well,
The county proposes to
Isn't
do
there a
something like
sign
that.
somewhere that says Aronico's like Tree Town USA?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it might be interesting if we decide to pursue some of this. Is that just a random thing someone came up with to make a cute sign because we have lots of trees? Or is there more background, like a reason why they were able to call it that? Because I wonder if that could be a key to getting some of these trees designated, or, if we go through that process, because if that is part of the town's history of having trees, that might help us get that versus some other towns.
Are we Tree Town? I've never heard
There's
of
a sign.
I've heard
Yeah.
believe it's
Harrington.
like a designation, like multiple towns across, like many different towns can have that designation,
Yeah.
and I think it's a designation in Arundequoit.
But it's a
got.
formal process.
Yeah, because it had a certain number of.
Yeah, so that's good to know if
Also,
there's
but
a,
there's one layer of complication here with this is designated on private property or these trees are on county property technically.
Right.
So we're designating something on government county property. So that's a layer of complication. You're designating something that's really not in the town's jurisdiction either. It's unfortunately, I'm not saying I'm happy about this, but that's county property, right?
It
Or at
might
least their
be-
jurisdiction.
Might be worth, I can reach out, maybe correspond with our sister commission in the town of Brighton, because they would have had to have gone through a similar process. So their major scenic landmark in the town of Brighton is they designated all of the historic street lamps in their entire town in one fell swoop. And they've actually reviewed changes, and RG&E as well as the counties actually come before their commission to review potential changes or replacement of the street lamps. So they must have figured out how to
Yeah,
go through the
all right.
process, and maybe it might be. I'm happy to reach out to them to ask and see
Be very interested to know
what's
how they
the
got through
what's
that.
the process of doing that, of designating
Especially
something in a
when
right
it
of way,
crosses over jurisdictions of other municipalities.
right?
So, yeah, there's a, tree board, part of the town of, this is in the E code. Town of Arundecoit Conservation Board works with the Commissioner of Public Works to develop and recommend town forestry program to the town board, develop and recommend an annual written town forestry plan. But then there's a lot of information about application to plant or remove trees, maintenance of trees, removal of trees from private property. So there's already a process. Does anyone know if this is even followed, or is this?
I mean, the planting of new trees. I mean, there's the application. I've gone through that for a street tree.
Yeah, me
Like I
too.
said, if it's county property, they probably don't have to follow it.
Right?
Yeah, I actually inquired about, because we got street trees planted on the side street, and we inquired about St. Paul, and they said, we'd love to, but you'd have to ask the county about that.
Yeah, there's only a few things. I mean, the town has a right to, obviously street clean, plow and stuff, but I think there's limited capacity what the town's allowed to do on the county streets.
Yeah.
And then
Sand.
I don't know anything about this, but I'm interested are all those trees on county property, or is there any portion of it, it is all county? I'm wondering if it's like half is town, half is county, like is there a measurement, or is it just strictly right to the sidewalks?
Or it would be private property.
Usually
Yeah.
you take it from
It's off the
the
right of
center
way.
of the street and then you go how many feet in? Usually that's how they
It depends.
measure.
Yeah, street to street. We'd have to look at
Yeah,
the
you take
parcel
center,
maps.
Then you go out to like this, and then you go a certain amount of feet out, and that's where the town or county or where their jurisdiction goes.
But I wonder if there's anything, like if we could get lucky, like there's one giant tree that happens to be on the tiny strip that's not private, not county, and it's
It
around
should
quite.
be on the plans. I haven't seen
Yeah.
the plans, because I want to see where the right of way falls in relation to all those
Yeah.
trees too, but I haven't.
When is
I
this
haven't
project
picked that up
supposed to?
yet.
When's was it? When,
It's
shovel ready here.
It's like shovel ready, like middle of next year.
Okay.
So yeah, at least
Okay.
Commissioner Long indicated that there was sufficient time for receiving public comment and addressing concerns from constituents or members of the town board. Since it sounds like the town board is taking the concerns to heart.
Made aware. I forwarded it to
Yeah.
Percone, so I think he shared it with the rest of the
It
board
should
members.
be noted that, I mean, a lot of people don't, they're all young and nobody knows, even the designers and even the people on the county. Greg knows though, he's older. They
What?
tried to widen St.
Yep.
Paul
When I was,
years
but
ago.
I was a kid. I was
I
like
didn't
7 or
think-
8 years old. But
I didn't think it was that long ago, but it was just
yeah, I was only a
before I
kid.
moved here, so it would have been maybe 30, at least 30 years ago. They tried to widen St. Paul, and everybody.
maybe
had
I was a
fit.
teenager. But I thought it was more like 40 years ago that
Could
this.
be. It could have been that, but and then they didn't because people didn't want it.
Oh
they
yeah, my
didn't.
dad was a part of that.
So-
like with the petition they did, and they
The world
Yeah.
didn't fall apart. The traffic's not
they
still
won.
backed up.
They
in
fought the
city.
law and they won.
didn't-
But
They weren't able
I'd-
to widen the road.
I don't know why you'd need to widen St. Paul.
So I don't understand. That's all old school thinking nowadays. That they got.
that was when St. Paul was 4 lanes.
Contracting.
Remember, St. Paul
Not
used to be
wide.
4
I
lanes.
don't
That,
remember.
that was 4 lanes. I still can't believe they had 4 lanes in that in St. Paul. So that's why they had to get it over because people were probably hitting the curb and it was.
I remember being a new driver. I had a friend that lived on St. Paul, in the 4 lanes,
You're like, if you get over an inch, you're like, especially when a bus went by or something,
Yep.
forget about it.
So there's precedent that the neighborhood can,
Yeah.
affect the change.
Mhm.
Same thing with University Avenue when they did Art Walk. They wanted to widen it, and they came out and they had a fit, and the city ended up narrowing it because of that, because the neighborhood came out. So we just need to rally the troops.
Yeah, I won't give any names of people, but I've talked to a couple politicians, and they're like, if the stink is enough, like people put enough stink equals, they're not gonna want to touch this thing. They're gonna.
Are the
they'll cave.
plans here at the town,
There are,
or are they online?
yeah, they're online, at the, like, Monroe County DOT's website. That's where I was able to view them, yeah. And that's the one where they do have a plan you can open up that's their, like, schematic, and they have these little red X's over each tree that's scheduled to be taken out. That's where I got the count, because they had like, whatever it was, 25, 26 X's.
Is this petition just been word of mouth, or is it on social media?
It's
now?
on social media, yeah,
Was it like change.org or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Now, is this something, if you put out a recommendation from our board saying that we believe these should not be taken down, is that something we could, like, put on social media or just get information out there to let people know if you also agree with us, these are the people to contact, or this is what you can do to voice your concern? Like, I don't know if we're allowed to,
Right.
like, I know we can give a recommendation, but are we allowed to tell people, like, if you agree with us, go do this?
That's, yeah.
Citizens.
Yeah. And I guess if we're not telling people what to do, but saying this is our recommendation, and if you agree with us, this is what you can do also.
Well, I wouldn't even, I would see it, maybe you could include, not necessarily agree with us, but those interested in providing public comment, and then making it easy to just get to the links of,
Yeah.
like, here's the project information page from the county with the contact information.
And then if we have our, like, would you also still include our recommendation?
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, we can make a recommendation as a commission,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would hesitate to use words like
Right, I like how you
encouraging
said that,
others to agree with us and
Said it
submit.
better than I could,
Yeah.
but that, yeah, that's what I meant, is to
Yeah.
not say do what we say, but hey, we're like, we've looked into this. This is our professional opinion. So hopefully then people would be like, okay, these are good reasons for
Yeah.
me to also, you know, if it's somebody we're supposed to call or a form to fill out or something.
Right. And it's probably also a question too for the folks at the town as far as, can a recommendation like that, is that just a recommendation that is like intra-board or within, like, just to the town board? Or is it something that can be published through town media? Because that's probably also a gray area, is what my gut says. But it sounds like there's enough interest potentially, if the commission wants to draft an official, I guess, recommendation or statement of concern. We can potentially work on that remotely and get folks' inputs. But if someone wants to make some sort of motion for that, I'm happy to entertain it, and then we can work on it
Do we
here after the meeting.
Do we just do it? Do we have to
Well, I want to.
formalize it?
Well, I just want to gauge, make sure that folks are on board and just get a vote if we do want to proceed.
Take your email and rewrite it.
we could, but yeah,
I think we start there.
Yeah.
And then
And then
wordsmith
maybe we
that. You
Add
know.
a
Yeah.
little bit more. If you can get us that information, that would be awesome.
Oh, from Dr. Marion? Yeah.
You could reference
I'll work
that
on that
and maybe
tomorrow.
attach it to
Mhm.
Yep.
to them.
And has Tim, since he's been involved in this, has he been able to date any of the trees based on historic photographs?
He started looking. We do have one photograph that I know of that helps us date at least similar trees. So there is a photograph for Greg's parents' house that is getting a plaque. There's a historic photograph that shows it right after it was completed, and it's backed further away because it was a photograph advertising the subdivision that kind of surrounded their house. And you can see the oak trees marching along the trolley line in that photograph.
Parents' house is further down St. Paul. How do they capture that?
The photographer's probably near Seneca School in the
I
photo.
think he's at the Wildmere corner. And
Yeah.
they took it across the street, so from Wildmere to my parents' or my sister's now house. So he was kind of diagonal and across the street. So it was almost like he was at the Wildmere St. Paul corner.
Yeah, so there hasn't been a photo, to my knowledge, found yet of the Thomas Avenue trees, but they appear to be very much the same vintage and the same species as the ones on St. Paul. At least the ones on St. Paul, we do have a photograph that documents them, and they're already, I mean, they're not huge in that photo, but they're I mean, they're like medium-sized
They
street
were
trees
bigger than
already.
I thought they were
Yeah,
gonna be.
and
I-
that
they
and that
were
photograph's
probably-
over 100 years old.
They even back in the picture, they looked like they were probably 10, 12 years old, those trees.
Yeah, I'd guess at least. Yeah.
Is
So
it something that the commission, to date these trees, because I feel like that could be part of our job, without giving an opinion either way, but could we put out social media stuff asking for people in the neighborhood who may have historic photos, like if they have lived in the house, or, family members, kind of like Greg, that may have historic photos from, that could date more of those trees, like if Tim's having trouble finding some?
That's the best way you find these old photos. Is
yeah.
Is go door to door.
or put something out there like on social media and people respond. It's amazing. Oh yeah, I have something, and I lived there. 10 years ago, I lived on one of those houses there, and I still have a photo that I kept. Or it's amazing.
Yeah.
You're right though. If you're gonna get something out, throw something on Facebook. I bet you get something.
And I feel like that should be okay, because it's not giving an opinion, it's just
Yeah.
saying,
It might be worth just doing kind of informally if one of us as a commission member wants to just take on like making a post to the Arundecoit, New York, that big Facebook
Oh,
group
yeah.
for all town residents, because I know some of the members of the Arundecoit Historical Society post historic photographs in there just for fun.
yep.
But that's a good sounding board to potentially ask. And I did dig around down in the historian files initially. I wasn't finding anything.
Don't they have their own files?
They have their own beyond the historian's files, so the historical society may also have something.
You know what else you could do is ask the fire departments. Because my cousin went through all the old photos from the Ridge Culver firehouse and found old stuff. So if there was a fire call, like a big fire on Thomas, it may have the trees in the
Oh,
background.
wow.
Thought about that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, and that would be easy. They should, even if it's a box in a closet, somebody knows about it.
Yeah.
Did,
They have 620
did
on the.
they?
Wow.
Did you go to that public
good.
meeting for
Yeah,
that?
the county's
I
not gonna
didn't know
touch this
anything
thing.
about it.
For the,
I think they've
Yeah,
already
the
probably
Thomas
decided.
Savage.
no, yeah, I did
So
not.
I want to see drawings and a report. Do you know? Did they have photo sims? Of
No,
trees gone? Because
No.
that's going to be a
Yeah.
huge. That would be photo sim worthy. Like
Yeah.
as part of an environmental report,
right,
environmental assessment, to see what that's going to look like now with those trees gone in that neighborhood.
right.
That first part of, near the intersection.
You could just use AI for that too. Just take a picture. Any of us could do it if we're curious.
No, but I mean, I just wonder if you
Yeah.
do that, you can see the dramatic change. And they always gloss over these things. And like they were saying when we walked in, like they just didn't even say things, so people don't even know. So it's,
Yeah.
they didn't say, we're going to remove this or it's going to look like
Yeah.
that. They
Well,
don't.
think of the increase in heating and cooling bills, because those trees are so huge, and with so many of them removed, could be detrimental to the
They
people.
survived the gypsy moths a couple years ago, and
Ice
they
storm.
totally denuded them in July, and they grew
Mhm.
Yep.
back. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so it
So-
sounds like, does anyone want to put a motion that the commission draft a recommendation letter to provide to the town?
Motion to provide a
Okay,
letter.
good.
Now.
Get a second? All in favor of us drafting one? Aye. Okay, thank you, everyone. All right, so we'll work on that remotely, and we can kick back and forth and then do, I guess, maybe a vote by email if we're all good with the final version, and then we can send it.
I like you, what did you call the statement of, what did you say?
Like a
Statement of
state,
concern.
yeah, statement of concern,
Yeah, like,
yeah. Okay,
And then you want to,
be sure to tie in, like, you already did his legacy and use.
yeah, when I provided my personal response, I tried to focus it and keep it, sort of like keep it in my lane, as it were, for preservation, so as we go through drafting this, I would encourage that as well, that we sort of like keep within our specific expertise and charge, and our purview as a
And you were very
commission.
conciliatory, I thought, in
Yeah.
the letter too.
Yeah, he can.
You weren't like, hey, I don't like any of this you're doing. Like you were very gracious.
Right.
It was good. It was a great letter. So
and then
I'm
do you
so
want
glad
somebody to post on the Facebook pages, the town, or the?
Yeah, if someone wants to, post on the, see if we can get some photos of Thomas Avenue.
Because I could do that. Do you want me to just do it as a random person, or say that the commission is looking for these?
Yeah, you could say the commission's looking for photographs of Thomas Avenue. Yeah, because if we get some, we could include it in the statement.
Okay, and should I say it's because of that project, or just looking to date trees on Thomas Avenue?
Yeah, because, yeah, we're interested in finding historic photographs of Thomas Avenue due to the community concern over the loss of the historic trees. And then people kind of know what we're looking for, and maybe we'll get something.
Why?
But-
Because that might give them more incentive to
Yeah.
look too.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Last call.
Maybe people will be relieved. Oh, they're working on trees, not houses.
Yeah.
They're focused on the trees.
All right. So apologies for forgetting that. Thank you, Greg, for reminding. That was good. Good discussion.
I didn't mean to
So,
keep everybody here
no,
for half
no,
an hour.
no, that was great.
It's very important.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, last call. Anyone else got anything for good and welfare? Okay. Get a motion to adjourn at 8:32 p.m.
I second.
Okay. All in fa-
I thought you.
I guess I made the motion to adjourn.
I didn't know if it was a statement
Yeah.
or a question. I guess it was a question. Was it a statement?
Probably. All right. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.